edition of the Southern Football League web show for round 14, which is proudly brought to you by Leader Community Newspapers. I'm Rowan Schreier and I'm joined here by Peter Jones, the bench coach down at Cheltenham Football Club. Is Brett Shoulder's right-hand man, and I'll be speaking with Peter very, very shortly. Stay tuned. Later on in this show we'll have the Southern Footy League Top 5. We'll also be speaking with the Dingley coach in this week's upcoming match of the round. Cheltenham versus Dingley on 88.3 Southern FM this Saturday, live from Weatherall Road. But first of all, Peter, welcome to the studio and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
How did you become Brett's board man, if you like, on the boundary?
I actually came down and was going to play a few years ago for Cheltenham and ended up not playing with Cheltenham in the end, but knew Brett through playing against both Brett and Mark in the Eastern Footy League. So certainly knew them, and I've got a couple of friends who are also down there, so got dragged down by them and absolutely loving it. Great club, really enjoying it.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And how long have you been down there with Brett?
Just this is my first year.
Okay. Yeah. Externally, you've had a pretty reasonable month. Winning 3 of the last 5.
Yep.
Not been able to get over St Paul's or St Kilda City, as we spoke about before we started filming. How are the Rosellas travelling from an internal point of view?
Internally, we're going well. We're obviously disappointed with not being able to get that next level with getting over a top 2 side, and you know, a few of the boys are down after the weekend, but big game this week. We've got a huge 3 weeks ahead of us with Dingley's, Chelsea and Morty Alec all coming up and all challenging for that final position in the top 5. So we're keeping the boys up. Spirit's pretty good and just looking to move forward from here.
Well, it is a big month ahead, obviously, with Dingley this week at home. Then Chelsea Heights, Morty Alec, Taronga and Clayton. Relatively easier finish to the season.
Yeah.
But with Morty Alec coming from 5th spot, you've got them in a couple of weeks. They're only a game behind now. You're looking to do yourselves and Dingley, obviously, a favour by knocking them off in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, well, we just want to keep winning pretty much. I don't want to be too cliched and saying take it 1 week at a time, but if we get too far ahead of ourselves, Dingley will jump up and bite us on the bum this week. So these 3 weeks are massive for us. If we can get over these 3 weeks, we can take some really good form into the finals, hopefully. And
obviously it'll be a big day down at Jack Barker Oval this weekend with the triple header starting with the Colts early in the morning.
Yeah, it should be huge. Love having the Colts playing before the boys in the morning. We don't often get to see them, but certainly try and get a few of the guys down there to give them a bit of support. And you know, the future of the club, had a premiership with them the last few years, and a lot of those guys are really starting to come on now in the reserves and the seniors. And
there've been a few of them used, of the Colts boys using the seniors this year too.
Yeah, they have. You know, like Young Sparrow and Swoop being used up in the seniors. Unfortunately, Swoop's got a bit of shin splints at the moment, but a few of them are really starting to push. And with some of our older guys like Mark and Mark Shoulders and Brett Shoulders and Matt Whitty, we need to. They're not going to last forever, so we need to find those new crop coming through.
Well, you're certainly doing that by the bucket load at the moment, because there's plenty of young guys doing well in also the set reserves and third 18.
Yeah, we're wrapped with our depth. We think we go pretty deep. Obviously, that's shown by the form of Steve Muskett's team in the 2s. They're going really well. Obviously, sitting equal top with Chelsea. So as much as we'd prefer to not have to rely on those 2s players, but they're doing the job when they come up and really helping out the seniors.
Absolutely. And look, good luck for the remainder of the season. It's going to be a big finish for the Cheltenham Footy Club. All 3 sides vying for finals places. And we wish you all the best for this week's big game.
Thanks very much.
Just before we do let you go, we will give you some parting shots. Our usual couple of questions to keep our coaches on their feet.
Oh, yeah.
Will Dingley play Division 1 finals in 2009?
Jeez. I would say probably not.
We'll let Adam know. We'll
yes,
give you just a moment.
I'm sure he will.
Who was your favourite AFL VFL player as a child?
Matthew Richardson.
Fan of the Son of Bull?
Yes, love him. He's been a great stalwart for the Tigers over a very, very poor 30 years.
And a Tiger man yourself?
Yeah, long suffering as we all are.
And we'll continue to do so, hopefully. Go Saints. Your preference in sports, tennis or golf?
Probably golf.
Ruin's a good walk, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like golf. I don't get to play it as much as I would like, but I do enjoy it.
Being that it would be un-Australian of me not to ask this in the middle of an Ashes series, your Ashes series result prediction?
I'll say 2-0 to Australia.
2-0. Well, go the Aussies. Hopefully they can. Hopefully they have pulled off the second test by the time you see this, and hopefully they power on to the remainder of the season, as we hope Cheltenham does throughout the rest of 2009. Thanks again to Peter for joining us, and stay tuned because we'll have the round 13 edition of the Top 5, followed by our interview with Adam Quinn, the Dingley coach. Edition of the Southern Footy League Top 5. This week, in number 5 position, are the Hampton Colts, who started the season in pretty ordinary form. They were 0-4 after the first 4 rounds, but have recovered to win 7 of the last 8. Their only loss to the undefeated St Kilda City, and they're charging their way on the finals, so keep the work going down there at Peterson Street Reserve. At number 4 this week, we've got the Heatherton Footy Club, who kicked a cricket score. No, it's not true. They didn't win by an innings, but they won by plenty. 50 goals, 25, 325, with 14 individual goal kickers. Ironically, their last quarter score of 20 goals, 6 would have won any Division 2 game over last weekend. At number 3, the full-backs are on the agenda from Sky and Doveton Eagles. They came up against some red-hot full forwards in Shane Rowley and Ricky Ramsdale, the 2 leaders in Division 3 goal kicking. They were both held goalless, so good work to the defenders. At number 2, Division 2. What a weekend we've got coming up in round 14. All matches are relevant. First plays 2nd, 9th plays 10th, and 3rd through to 8th, all who have a chance of making the finals play against each other. So let the battle commence this weekend. At number 1, we have the Southern Footy League umpires, who had a guest down at training last night in AFL's own Razor Ray Chamberlain. All reports are that Razor left in pretty good spirits and may have learned a thing or two over the weekend having a look at him umpire. That's the round 13 top 5 for this week.